Well, short answer, no. Long answer, maybe. First of all, we have to analyze what human consciousness is. Are you the interactions of your neural network, or some ethereal entity possessing a body? Well, assuming that human consciousness is a whole of electrical and chemical interactions, perhaps with the appropriate technology, this information can be copied and stored on some type of device. These ideas shuffle Altered Carbon, a series of Netflix to which I have been more hooked than I would like to admit. In this series, scientists have created stacks that, inserted into the head of all humans from childhood, store all the information they experience. Sensations, learning, memories, all that is stored in the stack, so that if something happens to your original body, you can insert that stack in another body and continue living forever. The problem here is that if the deceased person's stack is transferred inside another body that is not his own more than a couple of times, the stack begins to deteriorate. And this occurs, I suppose, due to the constant change of genetics information in every different body that has been the stack. The solution in the series to this problem is to create clones of the people who can afford it and put the stack in the same body over and over again. Going back to the real world, is this feasible? Well, for starters, we will have to create a device that is capable of storing human consciousness, which is impossible nowadays, unless the hypothesis of quantum consciousness or the quantum mind is true. What this hypothesis says is that human consciousness cannot be explained with day-to-day physics, and we need phenomena of quantum physics to explain the existence of consciousness, such as superposition. In case this hypothesis is true, perhaps we can store a human consciousness in a quantum computer, but there is still the size problem. Yeah, size does matter. Quantum computers measure something more than a human being, let's say about 3 or 4 meters more, and since you wouldn't like to go around with a few 100 pounds more on your body, I don't think you will be able to live connected to this device. And what is the other option? Don't move and live always connected to it? Do you mean to live in a vegetative state? Yeah, I guess you don't like the idea. What if we could figure out how to send your brain information to this computer? Something like an antenna that transmits your information to the device every, 24 hours? In case something happens to your body, you could restore it with the information stored here, or create a copy, right? Yeah, not so fast, you smartass. In the digital world, there is no idea of moving information to another place. What does exist is to cut, which is to copy the original information, paste it elsewhere, and then delete the original. What is true is that the technology of quantum computers is still in its infancy, and we do not know how this can work. Perhaps, if everything is in our favor, in the near future we can store our minds on those devices. But even so, if these computers work, we still have the size problem. Yeah, size still matters. Why, you wonder? Well, if we want to store the human brain, and not a crude copy, we will have to insert a device into the brain of a baby, which collects all the information, something like a second brain. Let's call it bionic brain, cause it is a fancy name. Anyway, this bionic brain would contain the consciousness of this baby, and as it grew, all the information from its day-to-day would be stored here, like the stacks in Altered Carbon. It would be a clean and elegant process, without room for any error.
Nice.
Easy peasy. If size is the problem, let's make it smaller, right? Yeah, except no. With our current technology, it is impossible to make these bastards smaller. Something about the computer components being the size of atoms. Anyway, going back to the first question, is this feasible? Well, is it feasible to fly through the sky like a bird? No, of course not, you idiot. Oh, they already have? Some American guys called Wright or something. Well then, is it feasible, walk through the surface of the moon? Of course not, you smartass. How could anyone do it? Oh, they already done it too? Some American astronaut, are you saying? Well, I suppose the next thing that is not feasible is to live 100 years, or 200, or 300. Nobody can do it, right? Technological progress has advanced exponentially in the last 100 years. It will most likely continue like this, and if this is the case, perhaps our children or grandchildren will find that they can choose whether they want to die or not. And perhaps the future of humanity in the next 100 years will be the brightest to date. Things like colonization of our friends Mars and Venus, terraforming our colleague Mercury, and who knows, maybe create a Dyson sphere? Everything is possible with more time. More time to learn, more time to dedicate ourselves to what we like, more time to take care of this little blue ball that is our planet, and more time to make peace with each other. No one knows what the future holds for us. What we do know is that we are a stubborn race and we have achieved everything we have set out to do.